Okay, well, we're starting exhaust on the time machine. And the first thing we're doing, yeah, don't fit, there you go. The first thing we're doing is hanging the mufflers up there. And we don't have one of those stands that you stand on the floor, so we're doing the next best. See? Tacking some hardware to the bottom of the frame and making our own support with strut.
Oh no, I don't want that.
Inlet.
Sorry, Flowmaster, I'm not going to advertise with the bottom down.
Okay,
Nothing personal.
nothing personal. So you're just getting them up close to the floor?
For starters, yeah, I'm trying to feel my way through where they're going to live.
The height, yeah. Oh, I see.
Nothing, no, not figured out yet. I don't know where I'm going to be.
Right.
I'm just playing.
How you looking for level?
Level, I don't think matters because I don't think the car is level.
That may not, but you're pretty close.
I'm going to measure.
Oh, you're a little off, yeah. Oh, I see. Measure underneath the frame.
That's 1.25 inches. I'm trying to, ideally everything would be flat with the bottom of the frame,
Right.
even,
But
flat.
the cans are too thick for that.
I don't have the height.
Right.
But I don't want to get up too tight to the floor. I don't want to stuff a bunch of heat into the car,
Right. Burn people's feet.
assuming that I get to drive it someday.
Well, whoever gets to drive it
Yeah,
someday.
right. Sometimes I think this is all just practice.
Even if it isn't you. Well, people keep saying when they get these rare cars they own these rare. We're just caretakers. Okay, well, we're caretaker too. But we're a fabricator as well.
Yeah, we're fabricators.
Right.
Well,
So-
I'm going to pretend that that's good.
Ooh, you got a lot of space.
Well, but back here, not as much. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
see?
That didn't feel good.
Well, luckily I got a hat on.
Yeah. I got a hand, but see, because the foot pan
Goes up?
It's a little lower here. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's not flat. Yeah.
No. I could go up 1/4. I'd only be 1 inch. But what do
Yeah, you got quite a bit there.
you think?
Yeah, well, like I say, you're not hanging down too much, though. Look, this is way lower than that. This hanger here for your 4-bar or your rear suspension.
That's actually 1.25 inches. Okay.
And that's what the muffler can's hanging down. There you
Talk
go.
me into it. But no.
And here
let's-
you go. This is even deeper yet. It looks like.
Okay, but man, that's a pretty decent offset. Not that that
Not
matters.
much. You can roll that and make one
Yeah,
offset.
it doesn't much matter.
Cool. There's the beginning.
Not a whole lot of pipe on this deal, is
Not a whole lot of pipe and not a whole lot of bends either. That's nice.
I mean,
You notice, look at the header and look at the inlet. In this picture, it almost looks like it lines up, which it doesn't.
all of the pain is going to be back here.
Yeah.
Getting around all
Yeah.
of this.
What does this measure off the frame and what does the inlet measure off the frame? Looks like there's about a 2-inch difference.
I'm not following.
What does this measure off the frame and what does
Oh.
the inlet measure off the frame?
There's a curve, but
Yeah.
let's say 5 3/4,
Oh, wow.
6.5. Not as much as you would
5
think.
3/4, 6.5. It's only 3/4 of an inch.
Yeah, roughly.
Wow. That's deceiving. Even standing here looking at it, that's deceiving. All right, so anyway, here we go. Started on exhaust. Okay, so here's a preliminary. This is the end on this for today. Mufflers are attached there. You see they're tied up there to the strut. I think this is similar to what we did on the Blue Hinds. Put a support up there and fastened them to the support and then worked our pipe to it. So they're fastened there. That's where they're going to go. And there's you can see there's probably 1.5 inches between the
Where?
top of the muffler and the floor.
Well, yeah, but then the foot pan drops down behind it.
Okay, well, it varies, yeah.
Yeah.
but there's a nice amount of space, so there ain't going to be much heat transfer into the car. Well, you're going to have sound and insulation in there anyway.
Well, they can just get out if their feet are too hot.
So that's the end of the first day on the exhaust. That actually wasn't even a day. This is probably about 3 hours, if that, 2 to 3 hours. Okay, so that's where we are on the time. Okay, well, here we are. It's, what is today? Tuesday the 28th of February done. Here Scott's getting ready to set this up. What do they call these? V-band clamps on the headers where the exhaust begins on the time machine. He's going to cut it right there and put the clamp right there on the collector. We actually had to have these machined because they wouldn't fit over that collector. Even though they're 3-inch and the collector's supposed to be 3-inch, we had to take, what did we take? About 25 thousandths off of that and about 35 thousandths off the one on the other side because they weren't both the same even.
No, it wasn't that much, was it?
Yeah, it was because they were under 320. They were like 3.017, I think.
I thought that's where we ended up, not what we took off.
No, we ended up with the ones you just took off of here are about 322. They're a tiny bit over. Yeah, and they wouldn't hardly go on the other side. They wouldn't go on the other side. Anyway, here we are. And we got some of this stuff going here. We're going to try a couple more mufflers. I bought mufflers for old Hank. And we're going to adapt them so we can put them on the run stand and start them up and try those. You'll see that probably later. Anyway, later. You're setting up that little piece for the V-bend? For the V... Yeah.
Just truing up the ends.
V-clamp. Fuel. Get you. Too close. Nice.
Yep.
We call it a pup?
Yeah, you can call it a pup.
Need gloves.
Yeah. Need tougher hands.
Point that at, there you go. Point
So
that
this will
there.
go, well, here I'll show you the whole idea here.
Yeah, they fit nice in the middle of the
Fit
pipe.
nice now.
In
Yeah.
the middle of the pipe, on the end of the pipe, they don't fit worth the shit. Must have got stretched there somehow or other.
So this is gonna end up being like that.
And that this end here where your right hand is the beginning of your exhaust
Yeah.
tailpipe.
Yes, sir?
Cool.
Yes, sir.
Cool.
Feels weird cutting up the headers.
Yeah, I know. Tell me about it. Those headers amount to how many days worth of work?
A lot.
A few, I'm sure.
Purposely didn't keep track.
Right.
Okay.
Hour after hour after hour. Not only building them with all the different angles and elbows and shit, but dressing the welds after they were done, because you can see here, if you haven't already,
They're pretty smooth.
how smooth they are. Right.
And that wasn't the plan.
There is not a weld bead to be found.
I mean, they could be better, but
Yeah, okay.
if the welds were better, these wouldn't be smooth at all.
And if the pipes were the same size, they'd be a lot easier too. Because it turns out they're not, enough the same size where you could hide the joint. See what's going on there? He's welding the clamp flanges to the piece of pipe. demonstration purposes. I'm sure this looks very strange. With the, no, I'm just talking to the camera. I'm sure this looks very strange with the huge magnet. Whatever that is, 10-ton bottle jack, 4x6. But the idea is it's holding that flange, what would it be, square to the end of the collector. Because if you get those crooked, obviously it ain't going to work very well. It's going to have your next piece of pipe going away from the collectors at a bastard angle, isn't it?
I want to check it.
So hopefully
You want
that's going to
to
work.
see what's going on here?
Yeah. Oops, just bumped into the thing.
So you see the magnet
The magnet you
is
could,
holding this.
right, the spacer inside the
That
pipe.
fits inside the pipe. Whoops.
And
It actually doesn't fit in the pipe. It fits in the V-band.
there you go. Yeah, it fits in the flange.
Whoops.
And everything's steel, so the clamp that clamp is plenty strong enough and big enough. That was an assortment that I bought somewhere on Amazon, I think. Probably not the best, but it works.
Anyway, so you get the idea.
Yeah. Hopefully it's square. How does it look the inside of the recess? Does the recess look parallel to the?
Hold on. Yeah. Feels
Cool.
feels parallel.
Feels flush? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that'll work, I guess.
So I'll tack it the rest of the way. Okay.
So what do you call those V-band clamps?
V-band clamps, yeah.
Okay, that seems to be the bee's knees right now.
It's my first time using these.
They've I told you I got them on the exhaust system that's on that the guy built on the 40.
I mean, the cost is a little scary.
Yeah, it is.
By the time you buy flanges and gaskets and bolts and not that far off.
And then you got to keep the bolts tight because they keep getting loose, and you got to keep the gaskets from burning out because that happens. And you're never done. This here is metal to metal once it's assembled.
So hopefully,
Like I said, everybody sure likes them. They go to the extent to spend the money on them, so I guess they're worth it. Anyway, later. There's the clutch linkage. The clutch linkage has to get, some of it has to get removed in order to get the header in and out. That's what that's all about. Model A running board comes quite in handy. Well, here's where I ended up with this tonight. So you see there's the header. There's the V-band clamp. And there's the piece extending out past the headers, reduced down to tailpipe size. That's 2.5 inch right there. So it looks like, you see, these are very close to being lined up. It's hard to show you here. I can hold it there and it looks like it's lined up, which doesn't mean anything. But standing here, it does look like it's really close to being straight into the muffler. It's there's a drop. 2.5 inch drop, and it's roughly, what did we say, 5/8 of an inch sideways off center. So it's going to have an offset in it that's turned, that's laying on its side a little bit, doing two things, dropping and going to one side.
try and do a 30-degree rolling offset.
Yeah. So that's progress he made today, and the other header is off the car, but it's not cut yet. The collector isn't cut yet. It's right here. You know, pickup beds are great for this. That the band is just on the pipe there. It's not cut. And on the backs, he's actually one step further than that. He's got the first pieces coming out of the muffler and going up through the rear cross member here, with a actual mount fabricated on each side. I've been remiss. I haven't been recording what he's been doing up to this point. And you can see here he's got the V-band clamp attached there as well, and also on that side. So here he's about ready to start back and over the rear end on each side. I say this work is really exhausting.